Alright, welcome everybody. Eugene Hughes Motorized. Let's talk about chain. Motorized bicycle chain here, man. Our little bitty El Cheapo Deluxe chain breaker tool. These tools are not ideal. They got some play, they got some wiggle in it, and I initially got a load of these in here and I thought they were trash. I let them sit for years, and one day I was needing to break a chain and couldn't find my quote-unquote good tool. I don't know what the hell I did with it that day. So I grabbed some here that I'd set aside, and I made it work. And once you kind of get the touch with this here and develop the zen of utilizing one of these tools here, you can use them, and you just have to work with it, not against it, okay? So let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, so we have got, let's get that out the way. So we've got the components of a chain here, and let's say we want to break it right here where this upper plate is, as opposed to these two lower plates here. The way we break it is basically we force this pin here to go underneath the plate, force this pin here to go underneath the plate. This plate comes off, and then we can then separate the chain, or break the chain as it's called. Well, how we do it is we do it with the chain breaker tool here, and you've got these jaws, as I call them, and the jaws need to fit underneath the lower plate. So we call this the upper plate. These here are the lower plates here. The jaws need to go underneath the lower plate of this particular link here. Okay, so basically we've got, as I'm going to call it, the connector link here. Now we're not talking about a master link, just the connector link here and the plate here. So the jaws will go under here, and the pin of the breaker tool drives down against this here and forces it down, and basically we will wind up bending the lower plate a little bit here. When this here is pressed down, the lower plate is forced down. It'll bend it a little bit here in the middle, and we can get it loose. With the cheaper tools here, we get a little play. Often you can see I've got that little wiggle room right in there. I'm moving the upper portion of it here to make that move. If we're not dead straight aligned with the top of the pin, it makes it a little difficult. What I went ahead and started doing is just getting as close as I can get it, the relationship between the pin of the tool and the pin of the connector link here, and just drive it on down. And usually it finds its way to force this on down here, and sometimes it kind of boogers up the plate a little bit, and it might even scratch the post of the connector link and make it a little challenging to pull it loose once you do it. But once you've done it a few times, it's not that difficult, okay? So you want to make sure that you get the two jaws pushed all the way together once it's under the lower plate, and you want to make sure that the jaws are level with each other. If there's a little bit of play in the tool and the jaws are not level, that might allow the chain to slip out when you're applying pressure on the pin here. If you have any damage to your chain breaker tool, if it is worn or simply a defect in manufacture, you got to make sure that these two here are level with each other. You might need to go in and file it to get it to work. I know ideally, hey, you bought a new tool, damn thing should just work. But you know what? Life isn't perfect, my friend, right? That's why we're breaking a chain sometimes, huh? Okay, so we're going to break this chain here. I'm going to get the jaws under it. We're going to press that pin down. So let's go on ahead and do that. I've got the jaws under both of the plates. Oh, and see, now it popped loose. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's get you a little bit better view here. Give this a couple of cranks up here. Give me some room. Here we're going to get the jaws under both of the plates, and I'm utilizing the vise here so I'm not doing a lot of off-camera work, because it's kind of hard to do sometimes, and I'm real good at doing stuff off camera. So all right, so I am bringing the pin of the tool down. Let's zoom in. We've got pretty good alignment there. We've got the pin of the tool directly striking the pin of the connector link. Now I'm going to crank down and screw down, forcing the pin down. I've just felt it pop. Now you can see, let's zoom in a little bit more here. So when it popped, you can see that I have forced this plate here down. This plate is now bent, and we've got the gap there. So we've achieved success in pressing, in pressing this here down. Sometimes when you do, you may booger up the upper plate a little bit here, but that's not, come on, focus. You may booger up the inside plate here a little bit here, but that's not a problem, because once you break it, this plate is no longer needed and you can toss it. So let's zoom out. Okay, I'm going to unscrew the tool here, and we've got it loose. You can see that the pin is now forced through. Let's go over here and we'll break this other one. I'm going to turn the chain around. Here we're going to get the jaws under both plates here, and I'm going to tighten down. There you go. You can see that I'm forcing it through, and then pop! Knock that sucker loose. And chain parts everywhere. So what we started with was something like this here, with the plate fully pressed down. The chain breaker tool allowed us to push the pins of the connector link under the plate. The plate comes off. Then we are able to remove the roller links from the connector link. Now sometimes when you break all this loose, you may get some burrs on this pin here, and you will have a very tough time getting the connector link out off of the roller link, as I'm calling it here. What you can do is take a screwdriver and work it loose. Slowly pivot the connector link. Take a pair of needle nose, wedge in there, and even do that. Take your screwdriver and slowly get the roller link off to break the chain. Now I know these chains can be problematic on your little motorized bicycle here. That's when I first got into the hobby, that was one of my biggest sources of grief, was breaking the doggone chains because I didn't have my rag joint lined up. I had too much wobble in the rag joint. So hey, I'm with you. I feel your pain here. Number 41 chain is a better chain than the stock chain. The stock chain is just fine. There's nothing wrong with the stock chain, but the 41 chain will give you a little bit more wiggle room here inside. It's a little bit wider inside. It's a stronger chain. So if you can get you a number 41 roller chain locally, you can get them online. If you're interested, I'll be glad to sell you the 41 roller chain. I call it the super chain, and a El Cheapo Deluxe chain breaker tool. Check the link down there. If you like the video and you think it's ever going to help anybody, give it a thumbs up there. Click subscribe, notifications. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. We got more videos to come here. I'm kind of playing with some different ideas here. I've been getting bored and I'm semi-retired now, so we're going to play around with some different things as well. Check out my other YouTube channel, The Metal Fab Shop. That's just really getting started, cranked up, but I've been working on some new videos coming out here, there, and doing a bit of welding and welding up all sorts of creations to bend metal and shape metal. And as well, I'm going to be highlighting some, building some cool motorized toys coming up here. So take care. Bye.